up, everybody? A little gloomy outside, but it stopped raining, so I had to get my ass out here because damn, man, this weather is just killing me on fucking being able to make vlogs, man. It's a pain in the ass. There's so many days I just want to get out of the fucking house and I just can't. So I am out today, so I hope you don't mind. We got something important to talk about. I know a lot of you have been anticipating this vlog, and I definitely have felt quite the opposite on it. This isn't a vlog I've ever wanted to do, and quite honestly, I never expected I was going to have to do. But lo and behold, we are here at this day. For those who don't know, January 9th, Polaris officially announced that they will be shutting down Victory. You know, to be quite honest, I never expected that shit to happen this early in my life. And honestly, I didn't expect it to happen at all, because Victory to me was making strides in the motorcycling world as far as, you know, becoming the new highly respected American brand. You know, just about a year and a half ago, I started seeing, you know, 1%er motorcycle clubs riding Victory, man, and that was shocking because it was just like Harley only, fuck everything else. And you know, that's cool, dude. Everyone's got their beliefs on what brand they like and for what reason. That's all fine, but you know, they were just Harley only. And I started seeing a lot of clubs running around with Vics, and I was like, damn, okay, sweet. Like, Vic is finally obviously starting to, you know, gain some respect from, you know, the Harley side of things. That's awesome, you know, like, not a lot of Harley people look at Vic with open arms at all. So for it to all of a sudden just end, you know, because nobody knew about it, they just out of nowhere came up and said, yeah, so we're done. So I know the way they went about it, to me, really sucked. You know, it was like a huge stab in our hearts. A lot of the Victory owners that I've met are very, very passionate about this brand, and to see it just ripped from our hearts with no fair warning, it really sucked. It was really sad. It hurt. You know, when I woke up to a text message from Call Me Case, he found out about it first, and he hit me up, and the second I read that text, I almost threw up because I couldn't believe it. I was in shock, you know. Personally, I believe Victory's an amazing brand. They offer very high performance baggers right out the door that are built like a fucking tank, and for a very, very reasonable price. To me, it appeared that it would be hard for Harley to compete with that, other than just their history. And it's starting to rain. You know, they had a lot to offer, it seemed, and it felt like, you know, they were gonna go a lot of places really quickly if they kept up with what they were doing. I know there's a lot of rumors about them building a 121 cubic, I think. They were wanting to put that out there so that way they'd have something as far as an option to go against the 110 that Harley offers, and keep the 106 against the 107. But obviously that is not happening. Now, I understand 3 out of the last 5 years Polaris claims that they were losing money, and not by any little bit by any means. You know, all I have to say to that is, what did you expect? I mean, ever since 2011, they haven't really done anything with Victory. They've done new fucking paint jobs every year. It's not gonna cut it, man. Like, if you're gonna expect to make money, you need to have a product that stays true to its roots in some sense, but you gotta give some serious options for somebody to pick. Not everybody wants a 106. Some people want to move up to something bigger right off the bat. You gotta have options, you know? I understand the motor itself is a great fucking motor as it is, but damn, dude, you gotta come up with some innovative shit, if not a motor. You know, Indian has keyless ignition or some shit like that. You know, that's not hard to incorporate into a bike. I mean, hell, you could buy those aftermarket and put one on this bike. I know because I've seen it. I've looked it up. It's like maybe $100. And you mean you can't incorporate that same technology into bikes like this to do something different? Or look at Harley. They got a Road Glide and a Street Glide Special that has a full onboard touchscreen. How are you not able to incorporate that into a Victory? You guys did it for Indian, you know, so it's like the lack of desire to go anywhere other than to pimp Victory out for Indian was there. That's pretty much all that happened. Ever since they acquired Indian, they just pimped us out to fund the Indian program. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to fund something and bring it back into existence. I mean, Indian was the first fucking motorcycle, 1901. They were losing money 3 of the last 5 years. Well, you know, honestly, they didn't really do shit to prevent that from happening. You can't keep the same shit going year after fucking year, okay, especially after 5 years, and expect it to get better if you're losing money in it. You gotta change something. Now, granted, buying Indian wasn't exactly going to be a good thing for Victory, because then you got to remember, Polaris owns both of them. So Polaris put themselves in competition with themselves, basically. And when you do that, one brand is going to suffer. So I understand why they cut it. It makes perfect sense. You know, if one company's doing better than the other, you got to kill it. I mean, it's business. Polaris, to me, reminds me of a mother that starved the older child but expects the younger one to live. The younger one being Indian. You can't do that. You can't expect things to work out. And here's the other problem. For all the people that had a Victory for years, right? For all those people that have owned Victories that are thinking about moving to Indian, that whole idea is now gone. Nobody is wanting to buy an Indian now, at least from the Victory side of things, because they feel like they can't trust Polaris. Because after 20 years, and yes, 20 years is a long fucking time, they became a company in 97 and ended this year with a 2017 lineup. After 20 years, I understand it's a long time. You can't expect these people who have a Victory, who want to go to India because they don't like Harley, you can't expect them to want to do that anymore, because you just tore apart something they felt passionately about, pretty much no reason. And they tried to blame it on sales itself, when realistically it was the company's fault, because they didn't do anything to keep up. They didn't change anything. They didn't make the brand more interesting. And quite honestly, they didn't market Victory for shit after they acquired Indian. I can't even tell you how many billboards I see about buying Indian, but I don't see shit about a Victory. So the marketing wasn't there, which ultimately led to no sales. You can't, the product sells itself in a way, but you gotta push the product in order for it to sell itself. You can't just start up a business, don't market it, and expect to sell something. You gotta let people know you're there. And 20 years is, as much as it seems like a long time, it's not that long of a time for a company to be in business. So the marketing wasn't there, the innovation to improve was not there, therefore you can't expect to make money. Oh man, rain sucks. A lot of the problem is, you know, American motorcycle brands are not up in technology to where they should be. Let's be honest. Look at all these fucking Euro touring fucking models, right? They got traction control, they got fucking ABS. I think 2 or 3 years ago, we started getting ABS in cruisers for the American side of things. I could be wrong on that, but it doesn't feel like it was very long ago that we just acquired ABS. Other than the electronically adjustable windshield and some of the Indian models, I don't see any of the shit that's in these BMWs, the FJR 1300s, you know, the Kawasaki Concours. I'm not seeing any of this technology being implemented into something American. With those technologies, more people would buy these bikes. It's like a no-brainer. But for some reason, and maybe it's just because they're trying to keep it old school, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to give people options, man. Especially when you're a new company. When you're not basing your company on, you know, your heritage, you know, your history, or anything like that, like Harley is, you got to do something new. You got to give people something they want that they can't already get. And you got to offer at a reasonable competitive price. Victories were already at a competitive price. Slap in a whole lot more technology in these bikes, and how the fuck can you not sell them at the same price as Harley? And how can you not make money on that? These bikes are already awesome bikes. They're fucking practically bulletproof. And you put technology in that and raise the price a little bit, and these bikes will be worth what you sell them at. You will sell. But apparently that wasn't their intentions. They pimped out Victory so that way they could fund Indian. It's very obvious. After this happened, I learned that I cannot ever be loyal to a brand. You know, this was the time that I learned that I can't ever do that, because they're not ever going to be loyal to us, the consumer. It's not that big of a deal. obviously my bike may become a collector's item. That's what I keep hearing everybody tell me. Oh, dude, you got a collector's item now. You got a collector's item. Don't sell it. Dude, just because it's a collector's item doesn't mean it'll be worth money. Fuck, Pokemon cards are a collector's item. The first edition ones ever, that Charizard card, the holographic one, that was like $150 to buy back in the day. Yeah, that shit's worth like 25 cents, dude. Just because it's a collector's item doesn't mean it's worth anything. And that same goes for this bike. You know, I could be wrong and it could end up being worth money, but there's no guarantee in that. I absolutely am just as in love with my bike as I was the first day I got it. I don't plan on getting rid of it. I don't want to. But bottom line is, I have a $20,000 motorcycle under my fucking ass. And it may or may not be worth anything very soon. Now, Polaris has agreed that they will make parts for the next 10 years. And they'll honor the warranty on all the bikes. And they'll continue doing services on them. And that's great. Like, I'm glad to hear that. But at the same time, can I really trust them to do that? I mean, sure, they say it's gonna happen, but I can't really trust them. They just fucking tore victory out from under our feet like like it was nothing. As long as they're not making money, they're not gonna fucking make parts, they're not gonna make shit. And it doesn't make sense for them to make parts for this bike for the next 10 years, because here's the thing, they designed this fucking bike to be bulletproof and to last and to never fucking break down. Like, they literally designed it with every intention of making sure that the quality was there to where it wouldn't ever break down. So my question is, why would you make parts for something for that long a time if the bike was designed to be so fucking reliable that it wouldn't break down? Now, I've had zero problems with my bike, and I'm barely under 15K right now. And I know there's got to be some people out there that have had issues with it because fucking there's lemons everywhere. You know, not just Victory, not just, you know, with cars. There's motorcycle lemons too. I mean, look at fucking Snowcat's issue with Ducati that he had. I mean, fuck. There's lemons everywhere. But when you build a fucking bike that's got so much damn quality in it, it's pretty much not gonna fucking break down. Why would you make parts for 10 years? I can't fucking believe that they would actually do it. They're so fucking worried about money. That's why they cut Victory. So how are you gonna sell parts for bikes that aren't breaking down? Doesn't make sense. If the demand isn't there for parts, why would they supply it? The other thing that doesn't make sense, they want to fucking keep Indian going. Well, how the fuck are they supposed to do that when they burn so many fucking people's trust? People barely even trusted Victory when they were around for fucking 20 years. Why the fuck would they trust their Indians who've only been around since 2011? You got bikes that are fucking way overpriced with Indian. I mean, shit, you thought Harley was expensive as fuck. Go to an Indian dealership. I mean, yeah, it's got a 111 cube in it, and Harley's got a 107, so you're paying 4 extra cubic inch. Yeah, okay, cool, it's got an electronically adjustable windshield. Cool, that is nice. But the only real other difference is a fucking keyless start? Come on, dude. A lot of people are praying and hoping that Indian rebadges some of the Vic models, because there has been talk about it, that Indian's going to take some of the successful Victory models and rebadge them as Indians with different fucking model names. Okay, cool. And even if they do end up doing that, again, who the fuck is going to trust Indian? They're owned by Polaris, who fucking killed Victory. I don't see it working. I could be wrong. I just don't see it working out for them. Bottom line, Victory is now dead. They're going to be winding down sales for the next, 18 months or some shit like that. How I feel about it is I feel they went about it the wrong fucking way, and I don't know how they could have made it any better. It just sucks. It's sad to see another brand go because it's less competition, and competition's good for everybody in the market. Everybody knows that. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this vlog, please leave me a like, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Keep up to date on all future videos. Till then, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.